Today I have tips and tricks for you when mastered will get you ahead of 99% of the Overwatch 2 player base. And with that being said, let's hop right into the video. Starting out with a very simple tip: abuse the avoid list. In one of the recent patches, I forgot which one exactly, the avoid list got buffed in a sense, where you can now block up to I think 14 people or avoid around 14 people and have 3 slots open for permanent avoid. There are some games you just can't control due to your teammates, and avoid list gives you that power. Some people just genuinely don't want to try, are genuinely toxic, and are going to throw your games no matter what. So I highly recommend after each game, look over your team, see if anyone's throwing, see if anyone was trying their hardest, or if anyone was being toxic in chat, and just overall avoid them to give you better control of your matches. Tip number 2, hero mastery. I will preach this till the day I die. One role, 3 heroes. That's it. Stay in that parameter. A lot of these people who you see playing, streaming, or just at the highest of high elo, they're stuck to only a certain amount of characters. They're not playing 5, they're not playing 10, they're playing 3 most, or sometimes 2 really, really well. Hero mastery is going to come with a lot of playtime, game knowledge, and just overall experience. So switching between a lot of characters is going to really mess that up. And if you want some tips and options to what characters to choose from, I recommend you guys go to the leaderboard and look at the top 500 master, all the high elos and stuff, and see what characters are being used at the highest levels. And maybe skim through there, see if you like a character, see if there's a character you already play, and just make sure you stay within that 3 character 1 rule limit for a very good amount of time. For the next tip, we have target priority. A huge thing, especially in the low elos, people often just tunnel vision the tank. They'll tunnel vision anyone, but mostly the tank. They'll shoot at a Rhine shield. They might probably stare at a Rhine shield, not shoot at it. They'll look at a Winston diving, and they freak out. They don't know who to fight or who to target. But honestly, it's fine. I've been there. I get it. But who are the people you should be targeting most of the time should be either the DPS or support. In my opinion, I go for whoever's the most effective at the field at the time, whether it's a soldier or reaper who's really carrying their team, or someone who's keeping their star players alive. So if it's a Juno, or it's Ana, or a Mercy Pocket, I'm taking that Mercy out 9 times out of 10. For our next tip, we got mastering your death. Now, we can't always stay alive. We're going to die eventually. And when we do, we can at least choose the terms we want to go out. Oftentimes, we're either out of position, we're either too far deep in the enemy line, or we're not near our team, just way out of position, not near natural cover. I can go over positioning in so many different ways. But what I mainly want to focus on is the staggering. The staggering is a huge part. Most of the times we'll see 3 of our teammates go and still walk in. Rule of thumb, if you see 2 of your teammates die, look to regroup, especially if one of those teammates are your tank. If you guys have no picks and no openings, I highly recommend just regrouping. Or if all your team is wiped and they're trying to look for you, just run into them. Don't try to save yourself, because then your team waiting for you, most likely sometimes this won't even happen, because you can't control your teammate. You want to control your death. So die early, spawn with your team, and then run back in together. Or find a cliff and jump off. That works too. Honestly, one of my favorite techniques. Moving on to a big one, tracking your ult economy. Now, this is not just your ult economy, also the enemy's ult economy too. Ultimates are a huge game changer when it comes to fights. And honestly, some of the ranks are just split between who can use their ultimates better. I highly recommend every time you die, or every time there's a spare moment, think of who on the opposite side ultimate may be close to being fully charged. Whether it's the Zarya, whether it's the Diva, look for the game-changing ults, right? The Reaper ultimate, the Zarya ultimate, the Orisa, the Genji ultimate, the Nano. Look and track those. And better yet, an easier way to do this, if you die to them, you can look in the kill cam to see where their ulti percentage at. Relay that information to your team. It's going to help out a lot more and help you guys risk less risky situations. Wow, that was a tongue twister for me. And also, you also want to constantly tab to see where your teammates' ults are at. Looking to combo with a Zarya if you're Hanzo or Genji. Looking to maybe flank. Maybe look to play more aggressive, seeing that your support has their ultimate up. A lot of good things to keep in mind. If you master ult tracking, a lot more wins will come a lot more easier to you. Know the meta. Read the patch notes. I do not know how many times I have to stress this, but there's too many of you guys not reading the patch notes. We get frequent updates on Overwatch, and they are constantly affecting the changes in the game. Like Juno, which is like rebuffed and mixed around like 3 times this season, and now she's one of the best support out there. I highly recommend you go look at your popular Twitch streamers, the high-ranking ones at least, see who they're playing, find one who plays in your role, and understand why they're playing them. Like say if Reaper is being heavily picked right now, which he is in some ranks, know why he's being picked up, right? He's probably being picked up for the reasons of like, oh, he has a lot of survivability. All right, if I know Reaper has a lot of survivability, I'm going to play more aggressive with him. Oh, I see he's really good at killing tanks. I'm going to play with my tank to help steamroll the other tank, you know? Stuff like that. Taking that knowledge and simply applying to your game is already going to put you ahead of a lot of people in your rank. Because I guarantee you, they're not taking this game that serious. Or they're just picking it up and playing it just for the funs, you know? For this tip, we got knowing how to fight. Fighting basically comes down to positioning, knowing your strengths and weaknesses, and your game sense. Now, just a simple guide, because I can't go over every role and every character. For positioning, you're going to want to stay near your team, but also in your effective range. For game sense, we mentioned earlier, stuff like tracking your ultimates, knowing who's up, constantly tabbing out to see who's dead or alive, and constantly checking your ultimate abilities cooldowns to utilize them to the best ability. When it comes to knowing your strengths and weaknesses, this one comes with time. You're going to look at your counters. Like if you're bashing, Genji's probably going to mess you up. If you're Widow, Winston on the enemy team, or Diva, any diving character is probably going to give you a hard time, and certain things like that. Knowing that and playing away from them, playing out of the sight lines, playing near your tanks or playing near your supports is going to give you a very huge advantage at the end of the day. And the last tip for today's video is time. Time is going to make every tip I said today matter way more, because all the time and mastering you're going to put into this game is going to multiply all these, whether it comes to practicing mastering death, where it comes to, okay, maybe besides the abuse, the avoid list, you don't really need much time to figure that out. It was being annoying. But when it comes to how to fight, knowing your strengths and weaknesses, mastering the characters you set out to play, knowing the meta, target priority, all these things are going to come with time and fully mastering them. But at the end of the day, that's going to do it for me. I hope this helps you. I hope once you apply these, I hope it helps you further your climb and all your ranked endeavors. And you have a good rest of your day.